Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Just welcome to my channel if you are new here. And boy, has it been a hot minute since I've done a voiceover. And as I've said before many a time, that's because it's really hard for me to find a nice period of time like where I won't be interrupted or you won't be hearing noise all from across the house and stuff. And honestly, quite frankly, I just don't usually have anything to talk about. I don't really have much to say about the drawing I'm working on, aside from what's I fit in the description, so it's not like nothing to talk about. But anyway, here I am, and I've decided to do a voiceover again for once. So in this speed paint, I'm going to be drawing a Nuckelavee, which is a water monster. I'm not drawing this because it's Halloween season. I do not celebrate Halloween. As far as I'm concerned, it's the devil's holiday, and I don't celebrate it. But it doesn't mean I do not have a fascination with monsters or for monsters, because monsters are fantasy, and I like fantasy, and some monsters are kind of like, ugh, and some are quite intriguing what people come up with. But anyway, inspiration just happened to strike around Halloween time. I just happened to find some doodles that I did a year ago of Nuckelavee and figured, you know what, I never drew a proper picture of Nuckelavee. Maybe now's about time. So yeah, maybe I can take advantage of the YouTube algorithm being all spooky seasoned out. Maybe if I post a spooky video, YouTube will finally notice me? Probably not. I'm not consistent enough for it. But anyway, I'm pretty much going to go over how I found the Nuckelavee, and then I forgot all about it, and then I rediscovered it. So anyway, here goes. So we're going to have to go back probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. It was a long time ago. I think I was still new to the internet. I was just being allowed to like roam it and Google stuff on my own. Of course, we had a child like protection filter thing on it, so I wouldn't stumble across bad websites, or be less likely to at least. And I stumbled across this monster wikia. I don't know how I got there. I think I was googling a different monster probably, and I came across its monster wikia page. And I saw this like monster wikia and all these other different monsters I'd never heard of before, and I got curious and was like, wanted to look at all the pages. I think I was looking at another like horse related monster. I think it would be like, probably like is it Selkie? Kelpie? One of those. And it was like suggesting other like horsey monsters. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, I came across Nuckelavee, and I brought the page up on my phone, and here's how it describes it. The Nuckelavee is a creature from Orcadian folklore and the most feared of elves. Well, I don't remember it being called an elf, but okay. Its appearance: the Nuckelavee is quite gruesome. Somewhat resembling a centaur, the Nuckelavee sports a thin body protruding from the middle of an equine torso. It has a large round head that lolls on a thin neck, and its empty eye sockets are filled with flames. Its mouth is wide and gaping, with a long black tongue and a forest of sharp teeth to complement the talons on its hands. The Nuckelavee has no skin or hair. Black blood pulses in its yellow veins, which can be seen in the exposed muscles. It is said that the creature's breath could kill plants and sicken livestock. Well, if that don't sound about disgusting. I remember thinking, that's really gross, and when I was like telling my brother about all these new monsters I was discovering, I remember describing this one to him. The history of it says is primarily a sea creature responsible for dragging the unwary to a watery death. The Nuckelavee was also responsible for crop failure and drought on the islands. In addition, the Nuckelavee is often used by the residents of the Orkney Islands as a cautionary boogeyman to keep children from being careless and drowning in the sea. So there, that was pretty much the page, and like I said before, I remember rushing off and telling my brother all about these new monsters, and I remember describing this to him, and it was like, ew, gross, but for whatever reason, it didn't stick with me, because I totally forgot about it later, and I don't know if the page had an image at the time, and now it has an image, like to kind of give you an idea what it's like. I don't know, but maybe just didn't look horsey enough for me for it to stick with me. I don't know, but anyway, I kind of forgot about the Nuckelavee somehow after that nasty description. Also, real quick, I am sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I never did bother to Google how it was pronounced. I always say Nuckelavee, but I don't know, it might be Nuckelavee. But I'm just gonna say Nuckelavee, and I'm sorry if it's wrong. But anyway, fast forward after this first discovery, probably, I don't know, 6 years later, I don't know. It was probably around 2020 or 2021. I want to say 2021. I don't remember, but it's the year I got all my 4 wisdom teeth pulled out, and that wasn't fun. It was the beginning of the year, and I remember while I was feeling miserable, my brother and I were binge watching RWBY, and in RWBY, like the anime, the original RWBY anime. I know they did like a reboot recently or something, but anyway, and they have these monsters in there called Grimm, right? And somewhere in the middle of the show, we were like in the middle of it somewhere, I don't know. But anyway, a Grim that looked like a Nuckelavee showed up all of a sudden. And like I mentioned before, I think I mentioned it before, I totally forgot about Nuckelavee. I totally forgot about coming across that page. So it was like, ooh, whoa, what's this cool looking monster? I've never seen anything like it before. I don't even remember. I didn't remember finding it. And I don't know, something about like the like alternate centaur kind of build of it, where it was like instead of the human torso being like where the head and neck of the horse would be, it's like in the middle of the horse's back. I don't know, something about it. It was like making me, I think a lot of it had to do with the horse part of it, because I like horses. And I'm like, this monster looked really cool, I like it. And there's probably because it was animated and it had like a whole scene or episode dedicated to it, where it's like going in the past and it demolished this little town or something, then ended up going hiding in a cave until our heroes come and disturb it again. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know it went to some of the characters back, so I forgot what their names were, like Ren and Nora, I think. I think it was their city when they were little. This Nuckelavee came and the Nuckelavee Grim came and decimated their like city or destroyed it or whatever. And so it was like another like, it's like a vengeance thing when they came across it again. Anyway, I remembered it this time, and I think it was later that year, probably like October that year, because it was around Halloween time. I was looking for something to watch on YouTube, and I saw a thumbnail pop up and it had a Nuckelavee in it, and I didn't watch the video, but I think you had to do something with somebody like making a sculpture of Nuckelavee for Halloween. And I'm like, oh, so it isn't just a Ruby thing, because once again, I totally forgot about having discovered it all those years earlier. So this led me to Google it again. And what do you know? I happened upon that very same Monster Wikia page that I had come across all those years earlier. And I was reading the description. I'm like, I've read this before. I've been here before. Wait, are you telling me I discovered this Nuckelavee thing like years ago before I ever watched Ruby and I totally forgot all about it? Yes, that's exactly what happened. I don't know, but I ended up telling my brother about it too. Like, well, apparently I came across this monster ages ago. I just totally forgot about it until now. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much how I discovered the Nuckelavee and how like I forgot all about it and then like rediscovered it thanks to Ruby. And yeah. So, maybe I'm weird, but ever since then, like, the Nuckelavee kind of has, like, a special place in my heart. It's kind of a weird thing to say, it's a monster, but, sometimes things are just like that. Like, say, ever since I read the Frankenstein book, for some reason, anything, like, Frankenstein themed, it kind of has a special place in my heart. Like, if I see something that's, like, themed, like skins in a game, say, like, Overwatch, for instance, they have the Junkenstein and, like, the Junkenstein's monster skins. Like, I needed those skins. I don't have the Roadhog skin yet. I probably will get it eventually. If I ever decide to download Overwatch 2, I don't know if I ever will, but we'll see. But I did get the Junkenstein one, because Frankenstein and his monster have a special place in my heart ever since I read the book. It's weird, and the Nuckelavee is kind of the same way. It's like, I think because of its horse aspect, and like it being like an alternate centaur, and I like centaurs a lot, it kind of has a special place in my heart now. And yeah, so I discovered these doodles I did a year ago. I was like, ooh, this came out pretty cool. And I'm like, you know what? I never drew, like, a proper illustration of a Nuckelavee. I think it's about time I do that. And it just happened to be, again, at Halloween time. But anyway. So, here I am, drawing a proper image of a Nuckelavee. So, when I draw a Nuckelavee, I kind of, like, when I doodle or draw them, I kind of deviate a lot from the original description, as I read earlier. I honestly totally forgot about the black tongue they have. But, I kind of draw more inspiration from the, like, Ruby Nuckelavee, because I kind of, guess I like the shadowy, like, silhouette type thing, so I usually draw more like a shadow silhouette Nuckelavee. And, I mean, if you think I'm gonna draw those muscles, dude, I could barely draw muscles with skin on them. You think I'm gonna be able to draw them without skin on them? Yeah, no. So, you kind of just do a really bony shadow, almost Enderman-y kind of feeling monster. And of course you stretch the arms to where they drag on the ground, and yeah, I put glowing eyes. I don't know if the glowing eyes are supposed to be like in the horse or the human head or both. But anyway, so that's obviously what I did for this illustration. I also usually like to show like the rib cage glowing too. And I don't usually put a mouth on my Nuckelavee, but for some reason this time I decided to give him like a goopy mouth. I don't know, I just felt like I was missing something. And I was originally going to allude to him being like a water or ocean monster by giving him like fins, but I don't know, the fins just weren't working to me. I don't know, I didn't like how they were looking, so I just took them off. And yeah, I did put him on a beach though, so he's here on a beach, and I did my best to do a really quick beach. not really great with landscape, but thankfully since it is like a nighttime scene, it's really dark, so I kind of could keep the details a little bit low because, you know, you can't really see in the dark. But I wanted like this really dramatic, like dark, and then like the shadow Nuckelavee like blending into the background, but at the same time he's highlighted by this like edge light from the moon. Don't know if I pulled it off, but and I also feel like the head's way too huge, but it's supposed to be way too huge. I kept on feeling like that through the whole thing, but I'm like, you know, it's supposed to be huge. It's supposed to be huge. It's supposed to have a giant head. But anyway, that's usually how I will draw my Nuckelavee, and the horse's head kind of looks a little huge here too, but I don't remember if it's supposed to be that way. I just read the description, but I done forgot, and I don't know. I don't think it matters. But anyway, so I usually draw my Nuckelavee like that. It's usually like a very scrawny, bony, shadowy figure with glowing eyes and rib cage and maybe a mouth. And I tend to make it really skeletal though. Instead of like muscly, I make it very skeletal. I give it like a scraggly mane and tail. And then the like arms dragging on the ground for some reason is such a fun thing to draw. But anyway, I had fun drawing this actually. At first I was almost kind of not feeling like it when I was so tired from like the week before. I had a really busy week before I drew this, and but as this is going on, I'm like, you know what? Ooh, this is coming out good. I like it. Look at my little Nuckelavee. Am I weird? Maybe just a little. But anyway, I was really happy with my Nuckelavee and how he turned out. Still am really happy, I should say. Well, I believe that's all I have to say on this drawing. I hope you enjoyed this ramble of mine. I'm sorry if I was a little all over the place. I don't ever really have a script, so that's probably why I might have been all over the place, and I know I tend to get rambly. I do have a general idea what I'm going to talk about, but I don't script it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my ramble, and if you did enjoy, please give this video a like and maybe consider subscribing. I try to upload as often as I can. Usually try to shoot for every Friday, but sometimes it's a little more like every other Friday. Life gets in the way sometimes, but yeah, so consider subscribing or at least giving the video a like if you like this and enjoyed this. And yeah, I do have a Zazzle store if you want to go check it out. Admittingly, I haven't updated it like with anything new in a while, but you can still go check it out if you want to. And yeah, I guess that's all, guys. I will see you all in the next video, or talk to you all. Well, probably have a voiceover. Anyway, just until next time, guys. Bye.